Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I am a boat owner, a marina owner, a director on the Marina Industries Association, and a huge advocate for boating. In this series, I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there, enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Hi everyone, it's nice to share another episode with you of the Boat Princess podcast. In this episode, I talk to Bill Barrow from Princess Yachts International in Plymouth itself in the UK. I had an amazing trip over to the UK to meet all these incredible people involved in the boat building over there. He's the international sales manager of Princess Yachts, although I think as we speak now, he may have retired. So we were very lucky to catch him before he left. Although Bill is such a part of Princess, I don't think he'll totally leave. I think he'll still be very much involved in that business, which is great. At the end of this, I will also give you some tips on going to boat show because next week is Sydney Boat Show. It's so exciting. So have a listen to those at the end. They're good advice to make sure that your visit to the boat show is the best it can possibly be. So enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I am very excited to be with an absolute legend of our industry here today because he's been at Princess Yachts for a very long time. Bill Barrow, welcome.
You're making me feel very, very old saying that.
You know what? I believe you're retiring very soon, and I'm looking at you thinking, well, I don't look much different to Bill, so...
Oh, you look very different. Very, very different.
So tell me, Bill, most of us that are in the boating industry have had something in our childhood that has given us a love for boating. Can you tell me about your childhood and where your boating world started?
I think so. I think I can remember that. No, I was very lucky. My mother was a very keen sailor, and she taught me to sail probably from about 6 years on. And I built my own boat at around about 8, not very successfully. But I've always loved boats. Boating has been in me from the year dot. Originally, always sailboats, and went on from having a love of sailboats to going to university, studying in marine studies, and then going into the industry in many different forms, whether it be production boat building, whether it be the service industry. I've seen a lot of different things in my life in marine, and it's been fantastic.
So the two things I really loved picking up on there was one, that it was a woman that told you to sail, taught you how to sail. And two, that you started building boats at the tender age of 8. So you've been in this game even longer than we thought.
Yeah, not very successfully at 8, I must say that. But no, I've always had boats, always owned boats. I built a race boat when I was 18 at university, 21-foot race boat, lots and lots of different things. As I say, it's been a real passion. I had my own business as a service yard when I was 25, 26. And that was my first real introduction to what was then marine projects. Started selling Moody sailboats.
Oh, did you?
And,
they're beautiful.
And it really developed from there.
Yeah. Because Moody are based where?
Well, they're not anymore.
Are they not? That's sad.
They are built under license, or
Yeah.
they are built by Hansa. The brand is owned by the Hansa Group now.
Okay, gotcha.
But in Princess days, or like, if you like, Marine Projects days,
Yeah.
We used to build powerboats and sailboats. And we built in our history about 7,500 sailboats.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah, a huge number
Yeah.
across the Moody brand and a brand called Sigma. Moody was in partnership with the Moody brothers, based at Swanwick. Sigma was wholly owned by Marine Projects, and I started by selling Moody in about 1981 in my own business. So I was a dealer for Marine Projects up until 1998. I joined what was Marine Projects, then to become Princess in 1998, to sell the sailboat product.
Right. Okay. And so when did you actually come to Princess Plymouth?
1998. 1998, I was here.
Yeah.
So I've been out in and out of the business for I've been in the business for 24 years.
Yeah.
But I've been walking in and out of Newport Street. I was trying to work it out the other day, but something like 38 years of my life have been spent in and out of this factory in very many different guises. So yeah, a great time.
Wow. So I get the sense that people that work for Princess work here for a while. That usually dictates a fairly strong culture. What do you think it is about Princess Yachts, the culture here, that people love working here?
That's a quite hard one to answer, really, but it does. It's got a very strong ethos behind it. I mean, we're sat in an office now, and across the water, there's a little tiny shed, if you like. Two guys built one boat in 1965. And it's gone from that to where we are today, 3,300 people in 7 different plants around Princess. It's a huge success. It's a world brand.
Yeah.
It really is. And, it's gone from little tiny cottage industry to being something very big, very special, and right at the top of its game. Our design, our finish, our product, it's absolutely fantastic and has a huge world following. In terms of people staying within the business, a lot of them, like me, are aging now, and obviously there's a whole new breed coming through, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think it's people do realise we build a great product. I think there's a great camaraderie between people that work on the shop floor here. We have our challenging times. Obviously, COVID has been very challenging for us in recent years. But I'd like to think that we always look after people. We always look after staff, and we do our very best to maintain people and grow their skill level, grow their love for the brand.
Yeah.
Very many people have been here a very long time.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a sense of history and pride that you can absolutely call upon to keep people here, and yeah, because I think you're one of the biggest employers in the UK, aren't you?
In the West Country, we're one of the biggest employers in manufacturing.
Yeah. We're
not as big as the dockyard here, but 3,300 people. We're in the top 10 of manufacturing industry in the Southwest.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are big in the local community.
Yes.
But you say sense of history. The West Country has got a real history of boat building. Whether it be timber fishing boats going back, 50, 60, 100 years. Today we're building modern state-of-the-art GRP motor yachts. You'll see those as we walk around the factories later on.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah. So obviously your love of boats brought you into this industry, but let's just go back a little bit to, I guess we always like to explain people the pathways of getting into this industry. That's part of our purpose of this podcast, if you like. So which qualifications did you do? What did you aim for to get here?
Well, in my day, and you say it's quite a long time ago now, But in my day, there were very few marine courses. Now there are loads of them. There are apprenticeships. There are marine courses at all sorts of universities, all sorts of different things. But when I wanted to get into this industry in the early 70s, in the UK, there were two courses in Southampton. One was yacht and boat design, and one was yacht and boatyard management. All sound a bit obscure. But I did yacht and boatyard management, and there were 15 of us from all over the world.
Wow.
Probably a third of them were not from the UK. I did that for 3 years. Went to work in various manufacturing businesses, in some holidays, bit of boat delivering, bit of sailing, bit of doing the stuff that I love. Yeah. And that was really the start. That gave me the if you like, the foothold, or the start of getting into this industry. And it was a great start, going through production boat building, going through my own service yard, and then eventually ending up in marine projects, which obviously is now Princess Yachts Limited.
Yeah, fantastic. And so for those who want to get into it now, I know we're going to be talking to Alison at another podcast about your fantastic apprenticeship program. But do you think people have to have a boating background, or can they just come into this because they're interested in it?
No, I think anybody can come into this. You don't have to have a boating background. I think a little bit depends on what part of the industry you go into. You know, obviously, if you're involved in sales or in anything that is customer facing, a boating background is fantastic, because you need to know what you're talking about.
Sure.
You need to have an understanding of how a boat will react and just how it's put together and the detail of it. You need a rounded, balanced view of the whole manufacturing process.
Yeah.
But if you're coming into manufacturing, you can come into it from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, an engineer that is a marine engineer could be engineering on automotive. You could be doing all sorts of different things. But no, you don't need the passion just for boats. It is a manufacturing industry. And I think maybe that's something that's changed over the years is, if you go back to my early days, it was much more artisan, whereas today it's much more manufacturing process.
Yeah. Interesting. So what do you think has changed? I mean, you've been a long time here at Princess now. What do you think has changed over those years? Is there anything particular that really stands out to you that's changed?
I think the company has grown terrifically over the years. It's grown from a cottage industry, if you like, into an international company. And those two run in very different ways. And the change is for the good. So we're much more process driven now, as you have to be in the size of business. You know, being a world brand, we're much more driven down a big business route than we are the cottage industry. Yeah. Obviously, our ownership has changed over the years. You know, yes. I've been through 2 different ownerships of the business. Yep. One was an individual, and now obviously we're part of a big luxury brand group. And a big luxury brand group selling all over the world has got big demands to it. So obviously that is different to where we've come from.
Mm. And you have a different CEO now that came from the car space as well, don't you? Do you think he's had a different influence to bring in as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really, really lucky to have Anthony. His view, if you like, on manufacturing and his experience is far greater than where we were in the past in many ways. And it's much more allied, again, as I say, to big business. We've all got our different skills. And Anthony certainly has brought a lot to the business in terms of that manufacturing and of looking at market.
Yeah, yeah. So can you give me a really good story? Sometime you've been here. And
I don't know about that.
I think we should. People love a story.
Good
yeah.
story.
Something that went horribly wrong and you fixed it, or maybe a client that was
we'll go down the client route.
incredibly happy with their boat that they...
We've got lots of those, and many of our clients have had, maybe up to 10 princesses through their career. So,
yes.
We're very lucky that we have a huge amount of repeat business.
Yeah, well, I have a friend who's one of those. He's got he's up to his 7th. Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
But I suppose one great story was about a product that we built called the R35,
right,
which was a real design statement boat.
Yes.
It put us on the map in terms of our marketing, our advertising, our television campaigns. We went to a lot of places that manufacturing or yacht manufacturing has never been to before.
That's the one with the foiling, right?
That's the one with the foiling, which we don't build anymore now.
Yeah.
But the official launch was to be the day before Cannes Boat Show, and it had to go into Cannes Boat Show in a chateau on the right next to the sea in the south of France, in Cannes, or just outside of Cannes. And a small gateway for the R35 to go in, so it had to go into these beautiful grounds through a 800-year-old gate, stone gate. Anyway, all the plans went ahead to build this. But unfortunately, the boat was about 2 inches wider than the gate.
Oh.
So it wouldn't fit. So there was a lot of trying to work out how this boat was going to fit into the chateau. And the only way we could fit this boat into the chateau was to do a complete road closure in France, have a 250-ton crane, and pick up this boat and take it over the roof of this 14th century chateau in the dark, and then put it in the area where we were going to launch it.
Oh, wow.
And it went spectacularly well. It was fantastic. It had an amazing launch. The launch finished at around about midnight on whatever night it was, and it had to be in the show for 10 o'clock next morning. So then we had to do the whole process again, lift it out, put it on a truck, take it to water, put it on the water. It was a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
None of us slept for 24 hours.
No.
But it was a spectacular way of launching a boat. And those are the sort of lengths we as a business will go to make that sort of thing happen.
And I think that particular boat was a bit of a kind of an attention seeker to your brand, I think, personally, as a customer looking from the outside, that was kind of almost a Formula One type approach of, hello, this is what we're capable of. This is the new technologies we're doing. This is Princess showing you what we're capable of, just to attract you in to then go, oh, hey, this is Princess. I think that was a really clever marketing tool, that particular boat.
Yeah, I think you're very correct. That's what we did. We didn't build high numbers of it, all carbon boat, very expensive to build. We sold a few of them retailed. But yeah, it really was more attention seeking. It was all about the marketing of the brand, if you like. And we had some fabulous publicity around it.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
As I say, it's raising that level of brand all the way through. And that's what we've done very successfully over probably the last 10 years.
Yeah, because I guess as such a historic brand, you've kind of got to point out, well, yeah, we are historic. Yeah, we have been going a long time, but we're actually moving with the times continuously. I know you've got some really great production systems you use here, like your rolling production. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, we build a boat up to 70 feet, very much like you build a car. So it's on a rolling production line. But the car may move every couple of minutes or whatever. Our boats move every 15, 16, 18 days, whatever, depending on how big the boat is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very different form of manufacture. And obviously each stage has, if you like, a bucket of work that needs to be done at each stage until it gets to a finished product. It's very efficient. It works very well. You have a milestone every 14 days of exactly where you need to be. And the guys building the boat do the same job on each particular stage. So they know it really well. The boats are built in exactly the same way and they're built very efficiently. So it's a great way of building. You can't build bigger boats like that because obviously you can't start moving 60, 70 tonners that are 80 feet long on a production line. It's just too complex.
That's one thing I love about Princess. You are still building 45-foot yacht boats because some of the yacht manufacturers have just gone straight to the 60s, 70s, 80s and beyond. But you and I both know that it's rare. It's rare for a boat owner to start at 60 foot. A little bit more of that has happened recently in COVID because there's that sort of instant money around from new businesses that have started and also people coming into boating that have never been into boating and going straight to the 60 foot. But for the majority of people, we start from a 40, go to a 45, go to a 55, go to a 65, go to an 80 as our life progresses, if you like. So I really love that Princess do start from the 40 still.
We've always made a really conscious decision to make sure there is an entry-level boat. To be quite honest, building below 40 is not practical for us because you just, we are commercial. You can't make money on a smaller boat. There are many brands that can, but it's a different sort of boat to a Princess. But we figure that around about 40 feet, we're probably the very top end of market. We're probably one of the most expensive brands at that sort of size. But you're buying something very special. You're buying a Princess. You're buying fantastic finish. You're buying a really, really stylish product that has been put together in such a way that you can do anything with it. Our philosophy around 40 feet has been we'll build a 40-footer that'll be more expensive than anything else around it. But you're prepared to spend that additional money to get something that is really, really special. And you'll see the result of that very often in the residuals because the residuals of our small boat range, whether it be a V40 or a 45, are absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, it's and you can tell with the quality of a Princess, 5 years down the track, she still looks
absolutely
pretty much like when she was built.
Yeah, well, I challenge you to look at one that's 15 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, the design will look different, but the boat will still look absolutely fantastic. And there's many Princesses out there that are 30, 35, 40, maybe 45 years old, still floating around.
Yeah.
And still supported by a distributor network.
Yeah.
So, when you buy into the brand, you buy into something very special. That there's longevity to it. That your investment is protected. You'll always be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot going for it.
Absolutely. So, given that you'll be retiring soon, what do you think you're going to miss most about being in this industry?
Oh, straight away, the people, really. I've really got some great work colleagues. And I won't miss out on not seeing them. There'll still be the traditional "let's go to the pub after work" bit. So that'll happen. So I'll still keep very much in touch with them. I'll miss that. I'll miss doing this sort of thing. Although I may be back to do a bit more.
Yeah.
I love doing the talking about Princess. I love although we're a very contemporary brand today. I do love our history because our history, I think, is really what we are today, and that goes through boats, cars, people, whatever. But yeah, I do love our heritage is very important to our brand, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I may be back to do the odd bit of boat show stuff. But yeah, I won't disappear from Princess in total. It's been too much of my life, really.
Yeah, fair enough. And what would you like to see Princess do in the future? Where do you want to see Princess going?
Continue to be a great success as it is today. I have absolutely no question that it won't remain a great brand. I've seen obviously our designs that are going to come through in the next 3 to 5 years. There's some amazing product out there. If you have our brand today and you're looking at the next step on, you won't be disappointed. It is absolutely amazing. It follows all the traditional Princess ethos. It follows all those lines, but it's very, very contemporary. I think one great thing about this brand is they never produce anything that you'd look at and go, it'll date in 5 years' time. It's not the product to own. It always shows its age very well.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Bill, it's been lovely to have you here. I just want to ask you before you go, if you were to buy a Princess tomorrow, which one would you buy?
If I were to buy a Princess today, there are so many out there.
Pick 3.
Right, okay. In today's range, I would buy an S65.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I'd buy an S65 is it's a beautiful boat. The lower accommodation is, it's 4 cabins. It's got the layout that you'd expect to see in a 72 upwards. So the bathroom is aft the master. Performance is incredible. It's a 36, 37 knot boat, depending on what you do, and 2 people will handle it easily. So that would probably, in today's range, would be a great product to have. I'd always look at it as what I could drive. I wouldn't. I'm not of the age of a crude boat as yet. Maybe a V40. V40 is a really fun little boat.
Yeah.
Not little really at 40
well,
feet,
not
but
really.
it's a really, really fun
little
boat.
in your terms, but.
And then I'd probably go historical, and I'd go for something like a Moody 64-foot sailboat. Obviously, hasn't been built since 2004.
Yeah.
But you could take it out of Plymouth, turn right, and sail for 3,000 miles without stopping in absolute confidence.
Yeah.
A real world-girdling boat.
Yeah.
So I think those would be my top 3.
There you go. So that's quite a nice little selection you got there. You could have, let me think, you could have the V40 in Plymouth just for the pop out every now and then. You could have the sail yacht down in Pools so you can take her out of the harbour and off to France. And I think the S65 needs to live on the Barrier Reef in Australia. What do you reckon?
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I'd probably put the sailboat in Greece, where it's going to be hot and sunny, because as you'll see out the window today, it's midsummer and it's grey and trying to rain. But somewhere warm and with some warm water.
Excellent. So just before we go, where do you think you've lived in Plymouth all your life?
No. I've been around Plymouth since I came down here to work directly for the company, so 1998.
Okay.
But otherwise, I've been based further up in Devon and up in Southampton, so all around marine areas really.
Yeah.
But I'm not a Plymouthien.
Yeah. Where's your favourite boating spot in the UK?
Ooh, UK. Darkest southwest, really. Falmouth, the Halford River. When you go further west from here by about 50, 60 miles, the boating areas are absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Drawback is it can rain and be grey, but yeah, it is the Mecca. It is the best places to go sailing in the UK, in my view.
Yeah. And anywhere in the world, where would you go?
There are so many beautiful places to go boating. I love Greece. I'm a great Greece lover to go sailing.
Greece fan.
Beautiful islands, warm water, fantastic weather. I'm a Greek. Certainly in Europe, it would be in Greece.
Yeah. Have you ever been boating in Australia?
Never. That's
well,
really
we
sad,
have to
isn't it?
fix that, Bill.
In all my time of travelling with Princess, and I've been all over the world with them, the only place I haven't been to, I think, is Australia and New Zealand. So the retirement plan is I will be in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, well, I think Sydney Boat Show is ambassador for Princess.
Well, who knows?
So, Bill, thank you so much for coming to speak to us today. Well, we came to you, actually, which is lovely to be here. I am a huge Princess fan. I always have been. I think the quality of your build is just beyond belief. So I'm looking forward to doing the factory tour with you shortly. And I thank you for having us here at Princess Yachts. It's been a delight talking to you.
Well, thank you for being a Princess fan. And it's really good to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come all this way. Absolutely fantastic. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the tour.
Thanks, Bill. And happy retirement.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. It's been lovely talking to you. This is the Boat Princess podcast. I really would love you to review our podcast so that we can get it out to more and more people. We are, in fact, in the top 5% of podcasts worldwide with the number of our downloads now. So that's very exciting for us, but we want more and more people to hear these amazing stories and get more women into the boating industry and more women behind the helm. With a brand like Princess, you get to feel like a princess behind the helm. So I really look forward to seeing you on the water soon. So I hope you enjoyed my chat with Bill Barrow. It was a fantastic time we had at Princess Yachts, being shown around the factory. What an incredible operation. Bill and the lovely Charlotte showed us around, and it was quite incredible to see all the processes and the detail and the sheer logistics of that operation. There's a lot of costs that you don't even think about that goes into boat building. You know, they have their own trucks, they have their own police cars for taking the boats through the roads to get them to the water. It's just there's just so much more involved than you ever think about until you actually do that tour. It's just fascinating. So as promised, I'm going to give you some tips for going to Boat Show because, of course, next week is Sydney Boat Show. We haven't had it for 2 years, so it's really exciting to get back into it and see some really beautiful boats at Sydney Boat Show. But, of course, so much more. At Sydney Boat Show, there is literally something for everyone, from fishing gear to lights for your boat to kayaks to toys that you can use on the water to massive multi-million-dollar beautiful yachts. The range is quite extensive. There is literally something for everyone at that show. So if you're new to boating, or you're thinking about buying a boat or getting into any form of water sport, really, Sydney Boat Show is not just about going to see things. There are so many people on the ground for those 4 days that are so experienced and so knowledgeable. So make the most of them being all in one spot. Go and get them and talk to them and get some information out of them, because they want to share. That's what they're there for. So Thursday, 28th of July through to Sunday, 31st of July in Darling Harbour at Sydney. Just an amazing experience. Brilliant for the kids. Take the kids down for the day, gets them off the screens for the day. But also, you know, it's not bad to take the kids around and see the beautiful boats and give them some aspirations so that hopefully they work harder at school because they want one of those beautiful boats over there. And of course, if you do get into any form of water sports with the kids, you won't regret it. You will have some amazing days on the water with them. It will be some memories you will never forget, I promise you. The blue mind will kick in with those events for you. And of course, in this modern world that we live in, every time you're on the water with your kids, they are away from those screens. So it's a really great way to spend some time with your children, and they'll want to spend time with you because things like jet skis and fishing and all those sorts of things are fantastic occupations for the kids. So it's absolutely brilliant. They're doing some wonderful things at Boat Show this year, including a VIP lounge, which is on the amazing Jackson super yacht in the middle of the show on the water there. That will have an amazing VIP lounge where you get all your drinks and your food and get to enjoy a really great atmosphere in between looking around the show, which is a nice way of catching up with friends, or maybe meeting with clients, or even just taking a rest between seeing all the incredible things there are to see there. So the VIP lounge is there this year. And also I am doing a networking event with women in the boating industry and beyond. So you'll see some posts on my Instagram, the Boat Princess, about those. Do recommend booking in ASAP, because I know we're already up to 30 tickets out of 50 sold. So really need to get onto that quickly if you want to join us at that networking event from 4:30 till 6 on Friday the 29th. And the VIP lounge, if you want to book into that, which I highly recommend doing for one or even 4 of the days, why not? To book tickets for that, you need to go to sydneyboatshow.com.au. You can, of course, book normal tickets to go to the show on that site also. So let me give you a few tips about going to Boat Show, and especially as a woman, the best things that you need to know to make a really great day for you and not have any misunderstandings on the way through. If you are going to look at the big boats on the water, then you really do need to know that they will ask you to remove your shoes and possibly your handbag as well before you go onto the boat. Now, the reasoning behind that is a lot of the boats are actually already sold and owned by someone else. So it's the duty of the brokers and the guys and girls on the stands to take very good care of those boats for the respect of the owner, especially. So they do ask you to remove your shoes, and they may ask you to remove your handbag, especially if it's a Louboutin. It's got spikes on it, darling. It's going to ruin the woodwork. What can I say? So going to Boat Show is not the time you wear the Louboutins, okay? It's the time when you wear something that's really easy to slip on and off shoe-wise, because you are going to leave them and you're going to be doing it all day, on, off, all day. So make sure you wear shoes that are really easy to take on and off, and a handbag that either is really smooth and really close to you and really simple on your body, or you're very happy to leave behind, because it's the woodwork they're concerned about and the finishes within the boat not getting scratched, because they, as I say, invariably belong to someone. The other thing to know is that don't be that person that gets on the boat and opens every cupboard and every drawer. It's really not the thing to do, and absolutely never even consider using the toilet on that boat. That is completely etiquette 101. Never do. Okay. I would plan ahead with your tickets and your parking. Make sure that you know where you're going, how you're getting in. Best to buy tickets in advance, and parking if you can too. And when you're going around the boats, it's a good idea to take notes and take photos. And if you're taking photos of a particular boat, take a photo of the model or the brand on the side of the boat, and then take the photos of the boat after. Then when you get home, you won't be confused as to which photo relates to which boat. You'll have because the finishes can be fairly similar on the different brands, so that makes it a little easier for you when you get home. When you get on a big boat to see it, ask the brokers on board about the boat. You know, that often we'll have people go through a boat and they don't ask any questions, and there may be details they're missing completely because of that. So the guys and girls are there to help you, and they want to help you, and they want to share the knowledge. So please make sure that you ask them questions, and they're always really willing to help. The more they tell you about their boats, the happier they are. So please make sure you ask lots of questions. And of course, they're experts. So, they can tell you things you may not know and need to know about that particular vessel. So really important that you ask questions, and don't be afraid to do so. That is their job. Okay. So just make the most of their knowledge on the day. Please don't take food and drink on board the boats. Totally inappropriate. Again, those boats are invariably owned by somebody else. So please don't do that. It just means you'll end up in an embarrassing situation that you don't want to be in. Have an amazing time at Boat Show, everyone. I know I'm going to have an awesome time. I'm so excited. I will, of course, be sharing a whole bunch of lives and videos further down the track in the year from the show. I like finding, really good little features that the boats have and showing those to you on videos. You would have seen those on my Instagram before and my Facebook page. So please follow me on The Boat Princess on Instagram to see those lives, or on Facebook if you're a Facebook person. So guys, there are going to be so many amazing exhibitors at Sydney Boat Show this year. You really must get down and have a look. There will be things from minor accessories to go onto your boat to small boats like mountain boats there, right up to your kayaks, and then you go right up to your multi-million-dollar motor yachts on the water. So there'll be brands like Sunseeker, Princess, Fairline, Ocean Alexander, Whitehaven. There's a whole bunch that I've probably Back Cove, Sabre, Fleming, Palm Beach. I'm going to miss heaps, but anyway, there's a whole bunch of amazing boats to see at Sydney Boat Show. So make sure you get down there. I hope I run into you, and I look forward to seeing you on the water there.